we are going to discuss about helical springs. In helical spring also, the type of stress developed is shear stress. The type of, because it is subjected to torsion, and type of stress developed is shear stress. That is what in the second part of the torsion we are going to discuss about springs, right? So say this is a spring. What is spring? Spring is made up of wire, steel wire. It is made up of wire. The wire is wound into helical shape. It is wound into helical shape. That will give the spring. That will give the spring. The springs are used for many application. It is in many application for many purposes. So now you see this is trampoline. Trampoline. Here we use springs. Here we use springs. Here it stores the energy, then it releases the energy. It stores and releases the energy. When release the energy, you can jump. You can jump. So while you move downward, it will store the energy. And when it is releasing the energy, you can move upward. So this is a trampoline. Here also springs are used. Now in strapless, here also we use spring. What is the purpose of spring here? This is the purpose of the spring is to apply force. It is applying force continuously. It is used in compressed position. It is used in compressed position. It is applying the force continuously. Now, these are all the springs used in automobiles and locomotives, trains. So, what is the purpose of this train? These springs. The purpose of the spring is to absorb the shock load. To absorb the shock load when the vehicle is moving on a rough road or rough surface, the shock should not transmit to the passengers. So it absorbs the shock. So this is in automobile. This is in automobile. We are using springs in automobile also. That is the purpose of the spring in automobile is to absorb the shock. That is absorb the energy. So this is leaf spring. This is another type of spring. This is used in heavy vehicles, buses and lorries. This is also used to absorb the shocks, heavy shocks. Now in pens. In the pens also it is used for applying the force. Now weighing machine. Weighing machine. In the weighing machine also springs are used. Here it is used to measure the weight. It is used to measure the weight. So the purpose of the spring is to store energy, to absorb the shocks, to apply force, to measure the forces, measure the weights. So similarly, it is used for different applications, right? So now the types of springs. Here, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5 are helical spring only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All are helical spring only. But there are some differences. There are some differences. In all the springs, the wire is made into helical shape. It is wound into helical shape. So here the gap is provided. So it can take compressive load. So this is called compression helical spring. So here gaps are not provided. Gaps are not provided. So it cannot be used for taking compressive load. It can be used for taking tension load. So this is tension helical spring. This is also helical spring, but it is in the shape of conical shape. It is in the conical shape. So this is called conical spring. This is in the form of involute. The shape is in the form of involute. So this is called volute spring. So now this is also helical spring only, but it is used for torsion. It is used for torsion. It is used for taking the torsion load. So this is spiral spring. This is spiral spring. It is wound in the shape of spiral. But this is helical. So these are all helical springs. So this is into spiral shape. So this is spiral spring. Now this is leaf spring. This is leaf spring. Number of leaves are joined together to form the leaf spring. This is disc spring. This is disc spring. So these are all the different types of springs. However, we are going to discuss about only helical springs, because in helical springs only the type of load is torsion and the type of stress developed is shear stress. That is what in our syllabus the helical springs are included. So this is a helical spring. This is used for compression. This is used for tension. This is used for tension. So now, so important parameters in springs. Important parameter in springs. One is wire diameter. One is wire diameter. Then coil diameter, number of coils, stiffness, solid length, shear stress, deflection, energy stored. These are all the important parameters. So now here, what is wire diameter? What is wire diameter? So we take wire diameter is D. Wire diameter is D. Here, this is made up of wire. This is made up of wire. So this diameter, see, this is a wire diameter. This is a wire diameter. So this is a wire diameter. This is made up of wire. This is made up of wire. And this is wire diameter. This is wire diameter. Since it is made up of wire, the diameter of the wire is known as wire diameter. Another diameter is coil diameter. Coil diameter. The wire is formed into coils. It is formed into coil. So now this is known as coil diameter. This is known as coil diameter. We take this is capital D. This is capital D. The coil radius is D by 2. D by 2, that is coil radius. This is wire diameter. Similarly, wire radius is smaller. Wire radius is smaller. R is equal to D by 2. So there are two diameters. One is wire diameter. One is wire diameter. Another one is coil diameter. Similarly, coil radius, wire radius. Now number of coils. Number of coils. You can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here there are 7 number of coils. So n is equal to 7. We take n is equal to number of coils. N is equal to 7. Then what is meant by pitch? What is meant by pitch? Pitch is equal to the corresponding distance between two adjacent coils. So this is one point. This is a corresponding point, so point of the another coil. So this is equal to pitch. So how to calculate the pitch? If there are 7 coils, how many pitch will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If there are 7 coils, only 6 pitches will be there. Then pitch is equal to the length. So this is known as what? Height of the coil. Height of the coil. So that divided by n minus 1. N minus 1. We call it as a free length. We call it as a free length. Free length. So this is free FL. Free length. Free length divided by n minus 1 is known as pitch. So when no load is applied, the height of the spring is known as free length. If load is applied, what will happen? All the coil will be compressed together. All the coils will be compressed together. Then it will look like this. Now the length is equal to solid length. Now the length is equal to solid length. Right? So this is free length. Initial condition. When no load is applied, it is free. And there is a gap between coils. So this is known as free length. Then the pitch is equal to free length divided by n minus 1. So when the load is applied, the coils are coming closer. It is contact each other. Then it will look like this. Now at compressed position, the height of the spring is known as solid length. How to calculate the solid length? You can count the number of coils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 into diameter. That is n into d. N into d is a solid length. What is solid length? That is number of coils multiplied by diameter. Wire diameter is a solid length. Then what is shear stress? We are going to discuss when load is applied. This will be subjected to torsion, and you can find the shear stress. Similarly, deflection delta. When load is applied, this spring will be compressed. That value of delta also we can calculate. Then similarly, strain energy stored. U. Strain energy stored. That also we can calculate. Then another term is called stiffness. Stiffness or spring rate. We call it as K. That is equal to W by del. Load by deflection is the stiffness. Right? When load is applied, some load is applied, the deflection is say delta. Then what is the stiffness? K is equal to W by del. So these are all the important data. Wire diameter, coil diameter, number of coils, free length, solid length, shear stress, deflection, and strain energy stored, and pitch. These are all the important parameters. Now we are going to derive a small derivation. So here also in springs also, we are going to derive the equation for shear stress and deflection. Shear stress, deflection and energy stored. Shear stress, deflection and energy stored. When load is applied, when load is applied on the spring, so now I like to explain this. Our objective is to derive the expression for shear stress, delta, deflection and energy stored. So three equations we are going to derive. So to derive, before deriving this, we must know that, for example, here there is a body. We have a lever like this, and this is now when you apply a force here, when you apply a force here, this will be subjected to torsion. This will be subject when a force is perpendicular to the board, perpendicular to the that surface. You apply a force, you apply a force, then this will try to rotate. This will try to rotate. Now let us assume that the force is equal to W and the distance is equal to R, or d by 2, R radius. Then the twist moment applied on this is equal to W into R, W into R. In the same way, in case of a spring also, in case of spring also, when it is applied subjected to your load W, when subjected to load W, this part will be subjected to the this distance is diameter. Load is applied is W. This is diameter. This is a capital D, that is wire diameter. Then if you calculate the torsion at this place, torsion, twisting moment at this place, if you want to calculate the torque at this place, torque is equal to this W into radius. Radius is equal to D by 2. So this is an important thing you have to understand. You have to understand. When a spring is subjected to an axial load, the torsion developed in the spring is equal to W into D by 2. Capital D by 2. That is coil diameter. Coil diameter. So now, if you calculate the shear stress developed in the spring, the equation is, we know the in torsion, the spring, the equation is T by J is equal to tau by R, tau by R. Then tau is equal to T by J into R, T by J into R. So here, if you substitute the value of T, what is T? W into D by 2, W into D by 2 divided by J, J also you write like this, pi D power 4, pi D power 4 divided by 32. You take the 32 here, multiplied by R. R is equal to D by 2. R is equal to D by 2. If you cancel this 2, 4, this is 8. And here D3, you cancel this. Now the equation is W into D, 8WD, 8WD divided by pi D cube, pi D cube. So if you substitute the value of D into 2R, diameter is equal to 2 times radius. If you substitute like this, the equation will be 16WR divided by pi D cube. Either you can remember this equation or you can remember this equation. Some books it will be given 8WD by pi D cube. In some books it will be given 16WR by pi D cube. You can use this equation or this equation. In case of springs, the shear stress tau is equal to 8WD by pi D cube or 16WR by pi D cube. Either use this equation or this equation. So now let us derive equation for deflection. So if you want to calculate the value of deflection, I am going to use, here I can find the work done and the energy stored. What is the work done? The load W is acting and it is subjected to a deflection of delta. So then what is it is subject to deflection of delta. Then what is the work done? Work done is equal to half into W into del. This is the work done. So this is stored in the spring in the form of strain energy. Strain. Here it is subjected to torsion. Then what is the strain energy stored? That is equal to half into T into theta. T into theta. So work done is equal to energy stored. Using this equation only, we are going to calculate the value of delta. Value of delta. Deflection we are going to calculate. Now, in this equation, you substitute the value of T and theta. You substitute the value of T and theta. Now, if you substitute, let us substitute the value of theta first. Let us substitute the value of theta. We know already half into, we know T by J is equal to tau by R is equal to G theta by L. G theta by L. So here we know how to calculate theta. Theta is equal to T L divided by J into G. This equation also we have already discussed. So now substitute theta in terms of T L divided by J into G. Now we know what is torque. What is torque? Torque is equal to W into D by 2. W into D by 2. So half into T is equal to W into D by 2. W into D by 2. Here also one more torque we have, that is equal to W into D by 2 multiplied by, we have L. We have L. What is L? The length of the wire. Length of the wire. So how to calculate the length of the wire? It has some n turns. It has some n turns. You find the length of the wire for 1 turn. Find the length of the wire for 1 turn. So how to find the length of the wire for 1 turn? 2 pi 2d. Sorry, pi d. So that will be pi into d. 2 pi r or pi d. So the coil diameter is d. Coil diameter is d. Then pi into d is a circumference of the one coil. Circumference of the one coil. Multiplied by n, number of coils. That will give the length of the wire. Length of the wire. Pi d is a length of one coil of wire. Multiplied by number of coils. That will give the total length of the wire. So that is a L. So if you substitute here pi d into n divided by J. What is J? Pi d power 4 by 32. Bring the 32 here. Divided by this G. So this is the equation. Now you cancel this pi and pi. So here we have 32. Here we have 4. So this will be 8. So now the left side we have half into W into del. You cancel this off and this off. You cancel this W and this W. Now what is delta? Delta is equal to W. We have one W. D 1, 2, 3 D's. So W D cube and one N. N W D cube N and 1 8 is there. So you put 8 also. 8 W D cube N divided by G. G into D power 4. D power 4. So this is a equation. This is a equation. Here delta is equal to 8 W D cube N by G D power 4. This is a equation. In this equation, if you substitute diameter is equal to 2R. Diameter is equal to 2R. Then 2 cube R cube. What is 2 cube? 2 cube is 8. Here one 8 we have. Then the equation will be 64 W R cube N divided by G D power 4. So in some books it is given like this. In some books it is given like this. Whatever you want you can use. Delta is equal to 8 W D cube N by G D power 4. Otherwise 64 W R cube N by G D power 4. So this is the equation for delta. So now we got equation for tau as well as delta. So finally you have to find the equation for what? Energy stored. Energy stored. What is the equation for energy stored? U is equal to half into T into theta, half into T into theta. Suppose if you want to calculate the value of stiffness K, what is K? K is equal to W by del. W by del. So in this equation, you take this equation. In this equation, you find the value. If you want to find the value of delta, that is 8 W d cube n by G T power 4. If you want to find the value of K, W by del is equal to W by del is equal to, how it will come? So del you take right side. So W by del, that is equal to G d power 4, that is equal to G d power 4. This will give to numerator. Here we have taken W, we have taken then 8 d cube n. So this is the value of stiffness. If you want to find the value of stiffness, you can use this equation. Otherwise, you can calculate the W and you calculate the delta separately. You can calculate. You can straight away you can use this equation. You can use this. W by del is equal to G d. This same equation is converted like this. Converted like this. So this is about the uh, springs, and finally uh, so these are all the distribution, the shear stress distribution. You can see this is a diameter of the wire. Diameter of the wire. One side it will be maximum in one direction, other side it will be maximum in other direction. At the center of the that is spring, that is wire, it will be 0. It will be gradually increasing. At the outermost diameter will be maximum. But here also outermost diameter will be maximum, but in opposite direction. So this is the shear stress distribution in the springs. Even shaft also it will be like this. Shear stress will be like this. Then this is about buckling. Buckling means when the height of the spring is more, it will buckle, bend like this. So that is known as buckling. And when a spring is subjected to loads, it will be vibrating. It will be vibrating. The vibrating frequency can be used by this equation. So this is buckling, that is bending of spring. This is the equation used for finding the natural frequency of the spring. These two are not important. You need not worry about this. This is when the springs are connected in series. Connected in series, then delta is equal to delta 1 plus delta 2. Delta is equal to delta 1 plus delta 2. W is equal to W1 is equal to W2. Then you will get equation like this. 1 by K is equal to 1 by K1 plus 1 by K2. What is K? Stiffness. K1 is the stiffness of the first spring. K2 is the stiffness of the second spring. Now the equivalent stiffness of the system is 1 by K is equal to 1 by K1 plus 1 by K2. If you see the delta, delta 1 plus delta 2 is equal to total delta. When load is taken, W is equal to W1 is equal to W2. But in springs are connected in parallel, then W is equal to W1 plus W2. W1 plus W2. And stiffness K is equal to K1 plus K2. K1 plus K2.